Good evening everybody. Today we are going to discuss about the control statements in C language. Now first of all, what is mean by control statements? We need to understand. Before going to the control statements, first we try this program. That means in the last video I already told you how to accept the student name, how to accept the two subject marks of the students as M1, M2 and finding the total and displaying this back to the user. Now some more additional things we added to this program. Pause the video and try to write the program. I will show you the execution of this program in next videos. Accept the name of the student, 3 subject marks of the student, calculate the total average and display the name total average of the students. Try to do this program. If not possible, make a comment to me. I will show you in the next video. Next we will discuss control statements. Control statements enables us to specify the flow of the program, that we call it as a control. For example, whenever we are learning any programming language, what is the use of the programming languages learning? In order to develop the applications. Whatever the applications you may develop, every application must and should have some condition according to its specification. Now, according to some condition is true, then we are going to display some statements. If that condition is false, we are going to display some other statements. For example, you have written the exam, you got the result. If your result contains all subjects above 60% of marks, you will get the percentage as grade 1 student. Otherwise, you get the student grade 2 or grade 3 or fail. That means, according to your marks, the result of yours may be different. So that application will be developed with the help of the control statements. That means line by line, this program is not going to execute. Whenever a condition occurs, according to that condition, whether the condition may be true or false, depends upon that, it changes the control of the program execution. That we call it as a control statements. Now here we have different types of control statements in C language, that is decision making statement, selection statements, iteration statements and the jump statements. Now we'll see what are the different types of statements. Now control statements, again we are dividing into selection, iterative and jumping statement. Selection statements are nothing but if, else and if else statement. Next, switch. Under control of iterative statements, we have while, for and do while. Now under jump statements, we have break, continue and return statements we have. Now, first we'll discuss about the selection statements. Under that selection statements, we'll discuss about the if-else statement. Now look at here. Now this is the syntax of the if condition. This is the flow chart of the if-else condition. Now here first of all I'm discussing about the syntax. Now what is mean by syntax? Now what is mean by syntax? Syntax is nothing but it should follow a rule as we done in the structure. Now what is a structure meaning? It should follow a structure so that the compiler will understand. Here also similarly, every statement in C having syntax. Now what is the syntax for if? Now if is a keyword, condition is specified by the user. I'm opening the flare brackets and I'm closing the flare brackets. In this we'll write some set of statements. Now else, opening the flare bracket, closing the flare bracket, here set of statements. Now check out here. If your condition is true, then if true statements are executed. That means if the condition is true here, if this condition is true, then this block of statements will be executed. For example, if this condition is false, that means if the condition is false, control executes the false statements. That means if this condition is false, this block of statements under the if will not execute. It only directly executes else part. That means if the condition is true, if block is executed and else block is skipped. If this condition is false, if block is skipped and else block is executed. That means either of the part will be executed. Clear? I am repeating again. If the condition is true, if part is executed. If the condition is false, else block is executed. Not only simple if else we have. If you have only one condition, we write if else. If you have more than one condition, we'll write if, else if, else if, else if, else if, until how many number of conditions are there, that many times we specify else if. At the last we'll specify else statement. That we'll see in the next. Now I'll show you demonstration of some of the programs of if else statements. Then we'll come back to the next part of the selection statement. Now already new file is there. Now first of all I want to write a program which number is biggest number. Now it's a program for biggest of two numbers, right? Now it is a declaration section, documentation section. Next we'll specify header files. conio.h. Next void main. Now what the program is for biggest of two numbers. Now what is the input? Two numbers we need. So the two numbers may be of integer type, they may be of float type, as your wish. I am taking integer a comma b. Now these are the numbers which are accepted randomly by the user. Now ask the user to enter two numbers. Enter a comma b values. Now what the user does, he is going to enter some numbers. So what we'll do, we have to accept that numbers and store that numbers in the computer's memory. That we'll do with the help of the input function called as scanf. Now what is the syntax of scanf? Scanf control strings. So how many control strings we need here? We need the values of a and b. These two are of which type? Integer type. So how many percentile this we have to specify? 2. Now first value should be stored in a, that means address of a, and the second value would be stored in address of b, and semicolon. Now we got this. Whatever the data we need from the input, we got it. Now what is the condition? I want to check a is greater or b is greater. That means a is greater than b or b is greater than a. So this is my condition. Now where you have to implement your condition? If condition a greater than b. If your a is greater than b, you have to specify which is greater. Printf a is greater. If this condition is false, that means which is greater? B is greater. Now else statement is close, get ch and close, and I am closing this. Now after this, first of all what we have to do, save your file. Now I am saying this as if program, if prog.c. Now next step is compile. So no errors are there. Press any key. I am pressing enter. Run. No errors. Enter the values. I am entering 20 and 30. So a is 20, b is 30. Now it's showing as a is greater. Now we'll trace the program. So it is very much important to trace the program so that you can understand the program very easily. My best choice is to trace the program always. Now in order to trace the program, trace is nothing but what? Normally what is meant by tracing? finding out the path. Here also tracing of execution is important. That will be done with the help of the F7 key. Now press F7. Now first statement is executed void main. Why? Because it is the starting point of the program. stdio.h con.io.h are pre-processor directives. They executed before the program only. Now it clears the previous screen. Now it is asking the values of users. Enter A and B. Just press F7 button. Now I am entering the values as 34 and 120 I am entering. Say enter. Now 37 is greater than 120. No, this condition is wrong. Press F7 button. Now it is going to the else block. Why? Because the condition is wrong. So the control jumps to the else part. Now it will print and it will give the output as 120 is greater. Now this is a simple program of if-else condition. Now I think everybody is clear with the if-else statement. That means if the condition is true, this part is executed. If the condition is false, this part is executed. That means either of the part will be executed. Now we'll see one more program on the if-else statement. Now we'll see one more program of this, only based on the values of this only. Now, are you understand the tracing of the program? Now, next program we'll see based on the if condition. That is, accept the student marks and showing that whether the student is passed or failed. Okay. So first, what we need to do first, it is the program of related to student. So I'm writing the program for, it is a program for student result. Now I need a character as a student name. Now integer, I have only two subject marks I am taking, M1 and M2. I want to do total. Okay, I also want to do average. I'm taking 3 subject marks and total and average. Now clear the previous screen. Enter 3 subject marks, comma, name of student. Now first what we are accepting? We are accepting student name, then we are accepting student marks, then we are accepting student name. So 3 modulus D's we have to specify. Why? Because we are accepting 3 subject marks, those are of integer type, then last it is of string type. That means first value is to be stored in M1 and second value to be stored in M2 and third value would be stored in M3. Why? Because only we are accepting 3 values and finding total and average. Next we are accepting name and close this. Now what is the formula for total? Total is equals to what? M1 plus M2 plus M3. Clear? Now average is equals to what? Total by 3. You may declare the average. If you are declaring the average as float value, it will show you exact decimals also. If you are declaring as integer, if the result is 3.44, it will show you as 3. If you declare average as a floating value, it displays as 3.44. That is your choice. Now I want to make a condition over here. I am having total average clearly. Now if the student is getting the marks above 35 in all the subjects, then the student result is pass. Otherwise student result is fail. Now what we have to specify, M1 marks should be greater than 35. Here we have a logical operator, that is and. M2 should be greater than or equals to 35 and M3 should be greater than or is equals to 35. Here we should get 2. Now if these three conditions are true, that means M1, M2, M3, three subject marks are greater than that, now we'll display the result as PASS, pass. There slash n stands for new line, so the output will be printed, pass will be printed, the next output should be in the new line. Printf fail and else close and get ch and close. Now in this program just I am displaying pass or fail. If you want to display in the name total average, we can also display that also. Now I'll show you the difference between the two programs. Now first save the program, next compile the program. Some warning is there, that means error is a problem, warning is no problem. Next run, enter three subject marks. I'm entering 55, 66, 77 and the marks as I'm entering my name as Bhargavi. Now the result is pass. For example, compile again. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now alter, run the program. Now I'm giving the one of the subject marks as 23, one more subject mark 100, one more subject mark as 90. I'm writing some XYZ name. Now you are getting a student result as fail. Why? Because one subject marks are less than the 35, so you get the result as fail. Now not only total pass or fail, I also want to show total and average to the user. Now I want to display total, so printf. Now how will write total total equals to modulus of d and avg average. We can also write completely average average is equals to modulus of d and close this. So here one modulus of d for total variable, one modulus of d for average variable. So what is the variable name here? TOT and AVG are two variables, and I'm closing this. And the next output should, if you want to get in the next line, so we specify slash n over here. Now compile, now run. Now I'm giving the three subject marks as 67, 88, some XYZ name. Now total is 231, average is 77. In the next line we get the result as pass. So this is the if else statement in C language. Now many number of programs can make with the help of the if else statement. I'll give you some questions based on this. Try out. If not, put in the comment. I'll show you in the next video. Now we'll come back to the switch statement. Now switch statement. Switch is also used to specify multiple if-else conditions. For example, in the last syntax of if-else, we have only one condition. That condition is checked. If the condition is true, If block executes, if the condition false, else block is executed. If you want to execute multiple conditions, that means if you want to check out multiple conditions, we go with the nested if else concept or with the switch statement also. Now first we see switch statement. Now here this is the syntax of the switch. Switch is a keyword, expression or a variable we should specify over here. Case, variable 1, set of statements and break. Case and break are the keywords and default is also a keyword. Now here first of all we'll write a variable over here. That means for example here I am specifying the value as 1. So this value of 1 will be compared with the name whichever we are specifying over here. For example here instead of 1, 2, n I am writing. Now this 1 is compared with this one. If both the ones are same, then only the case 1 will be executed. Only this part is executed. Remaining part will not going to execute. If the variable we are passing to the switch is 2, if the variable which is passing to the switch is, for example, say 2. Now here the values of what we have 1, 2, n. Now is 1 is compared with the 2? No. So this case will not be executed. Next this 2 is compared with this 2. If both the cases are same, then this part is executed. Remaining part will be skipped. Like this it will compare all the cases with the variable passing here. If a variable is not compatible with any of these cases, then last this default statement will be executed. Now we'll see flowchart of the if. Now look at here. First we'll pass one value over here that will be matched with the case 1. If the case 1 is true, that means 1 is matched with 1. The statement 1 will be executed. Control come back to one statement is executed and last it comes to the directly stop. If case 1 is not matches with the given value, then case 2 will be executed. If the case 2 is satisfied with the variable passing, so it executes statement 2 and comes out of that. If case 3 is executed, if case 2 is false, come back to the case 3, it will be compared. If it is also compatible, statement 3 is executed. If it is not compatible, directly if it not execute any one of the statement, directly it comes to the default statement and will stop you the execution process. Now we'll see the sample programs based on the switch case. Now we will discuss switch case program. I already the switch case program in my system. Just I am opening that. So the switch case program I am selecting. Now this program is going to explain the switch case. Now here I want to do some operations like we did in a calculator. For example, if I want to press addition or subtraction or multiplication, based on the user choice we are going to perform the operation. It may be of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. For that, first of all, whatever the operation you may did, for that we need two variables. So I am taking a and b as integers, right? Addition variable, subtraction variable, multiplication variable, division variable. Which operation you want to perform, that depends upon the user choice. So for that I am taking one more variable, ch. Now I am clearing the previous screen. Printf, enter a and b values. We already know the printf and scanf syntax. So first %d for a, second %d for b. Now it will accept the two numbers and stores the values in a and b respectively, which are entered by the user. Now what you want to perform, press 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication, close the same printf. Now printf 4 for division. So it is not coming in one line, so I am making that as a two parts. Now printf, enter your choice. What operation you want to perform? If you want to perform addition, press 1. If you want to perform subtraction, press 2. If you want to perform multiplication, press 3. Now whatever the number you entered here, or 1, 2, 3 or 4. That will be stored in CH variable. That means choice variable. This choice variable will be passed to the switch case. Now switch case syntax is what? Switch, choice, case and label name. Here directly I am giving label name as 1. If you want to give label name as characters, so that must be enclosed in a single quotes like this. If it is of number, simply write the number. If it is of character, we should enclose that in a single quotes. Label name can be number, it may be of character, it may be of symbol also. If you want to insert asterisk or plus, so write the plus. If you want to represent as multiplication, write this. Except numbers, everything to be represented in a single quotes. Now case 1. Now if you want to perform addition as 1, now 1 with matches with 1, add is equals to a plus b. Add is a variable, a is a variable, b is a variable. So the addition of a plus b will be stored in add, and that I am going to print over here. Addition of given numbers is modulus of d. That means here the value of add will be printed over here. Next I am writing break. Break is nothing but execute from the switch case. And similarly, like the subtraction, multiplication and division operations also performed. A minus b, a into b, a by b. If none of the choice is entered by the user, then what will print? It will print default statement and at last get ch and it close the program. Now one statement I missed here. Break. Now save the program, compile the program, run the program. Now enter values of a and b. I am entering the values as 45 and 10. What you want to perform? For example, if I want to perform addition, now 45 plus 10, the output will be what? 55. Now we'll see tracing of the program. Now for tracing, press F7 button. Functional key 7 button we should press. F7. Now it executes from main. It initially declares the variables. It clears the previous screen. Enter values of a and b. Now it is asking. I am entering the values as 45 and 10. Not only 45 and 10, you can give 100 also, no problem. Now 47. Press F7. Now it is displaying the messages. Enter your choice. Now it is asking. See, all the text is displayed here. Enter your choice. For example, now I want to perform multiplication. 3. Now enter. Now what is your choice contains? What is your CH contains over here? Your CH contains number 3. So this 3 will be compared with 1. If compatible, then this block is executed. If not, it will go for checking of 2. Now F7 is going directly to 3. Why? Because the choice variable checks internally with 1 and 2. It not matches with the 3. So directly it executes 3. Now break. It comes back. So 4500. Now this is the execution of switch program. Now next we will discuss about the iterative statements. I am quitting this from this. Now we will see iterative statements. Now what is mean by iterative statement? Iterative statements are nothing but what is mean by iterative normally? Repeating. Iterative means repeating. A block of statements to be executed until some condition is satisfied by using iterative statements. We can do this with the help of the iterative statements. That means a block of statements are executed repeatedly with the help of the iterative statements. We have different types of iterative statements, that is for, while and do while. First we go with the for loop. Now what is the for loop? See, this is the syntax of the for loop. For initialization, condition and updation. This updation we can also call it as incrementation or decrementation. Now observe carefully here. this for loop, whatever you are writing in the body of the for loop, whatever you are writing in this body of the for loop, that is executed until this condition is satisfied. When you execute, when the control comes to this for loop part, first initialization is done. What is mean by initialization? For example, I am writing I is equals to 0. That means that we are assigning 0 value to a variable I. That we call it as a initialization. Next, this is what? Condition. Whatever the initialization variable is done, we did here, that will be tested over here. If that condition is true, then this block of statements will be executed. Then after it increments the updation value. That means whatever, for example, I want to repeat welcome message 5 times. What we have to do? What we have to write? Printf welcome we have to write in the body of the loop. Now here the condition is what? How many times you want to repeat it? 5 times. Now one example we'll see so that you will be clear. First understand that first 1 hour is there now. So first initialization is done. Then after this will be tested for the condition. If this condition is true, then this body part will be executed. Then again after body part execution, it will go for this and it will come back to the updation of a value. Then this will be passed back to the condition. Again the condition will be tested over here. If the condition is again true, then it executes the block of statements. If this condition is false, its control comes out of the for loop. Right? Now we'll see with a sample program. First we see the structure of this. Now we see flow chart of this. First start program will be started. Now then initialization will be done. After initialization is done, it tests for the condition. Right? If the condition is true, if this condition is true, then the body of the loop, whatever the statements you want to repeat, those statements must be executed. Then again the value will be incremented or decremented, and that means that value of the variable will be increased or decreased. Again it tests the condition. If again condition true, body of the loop is executed again. So this process is repeated until this condition is satisfied. Once the condition is wrong, control comes out of the for loop and it executes the block which is outside the for loop. This is about the for loop. One program we'll see regarding the for loop. Now already I have a program based on the for loop. For loop program 1 I am showing you. Open. This is a simple program. So I want to display the welcome message for 5 times in this program. Void main, as we know the preprocessor directives documentation section. Void main int I. So this is a variable which I going to use in the for loop. Now clear the previous screen. This part we call it as a initialization. That is nothing but assigning a value to a variable is called as a initialization. Again this condition will be tested. Now 0 is less than 5 or not? Yes. So this welcome to the control statements will be executed and the next output will be in the next line. Then after what? First part condition. Sorry, initialization, condition, block of statements, then I++ will be done. What is I++ meaning? Whatever the value is there in I, that will be incremented by 1. Previously what is the value of I? 0. Now it will become what? 1. Again this condition will be checked to here. Now what is the value of I now? 1 less than or equals to 5. Is 1 is less than or equals to 5? Yes, true. Again this block will be printed. Again the value of I becomes what? 2. 2 less than 5? Yes, print. Again I will become 3. 3 less than 5? Print. I will be 4. 4 less than 5? Print. I will be 5. 5 less than or equals to 5? Yes, it will print. Now I become 6. 6 less than or equals to 5? No, control comes out of the for loop and it will give control executes the get ch statement. Now I will show you with the tracing also. Now first compile this program. Now run the program. Now you are getting for 6 times. Why? Because we are starting with 0. Just put it as 1. Compile, run. Now you are getting only 5 times. Now trace the program. F7. Now it clears the previous screen. Now I will be 1. 1 less than or equals to 5. Condition true. So it will print the statements. Now again it is going in the same loop. Why? Because I becomes 1. 1 less 2. 2 less than or equals to 5. Print. Now I will be 3. 3 less than or equals to 5. Print. I will be 4. 4 less than or equals to 5. Print. I will be 5. 5 less than or equals to 5. Print. Now internally the value of I becoming now 6. Now control comes out of the loop. Check out. Now it is not remain in the loop. It is coming out of the loop and it will going to execute the statements. This is about your for loop. I'll also show you one more program of for loop which prints 1 to 10 numbers. Now same manner. Include statements. Int I, clear screen. I am printing the value from 0 itself. From 0 to 10, including 10. If you want to print only from 1 to 10, you can also write 1. Now, what I am doing? Printf percentile d I. Now, when I is 1, 1 less than or equals to 10, 1 is printed. Next, I becomes what? 2. 2 less than or equals to 10, 2 will be printed. Next to 3. 3 less than or equals to 10, 3 will be printed. Next I will be 4. 4 less than or equals to 10, 4 will be printed. So this process is repeated for 10 times. Now compile the program. Now run the program. Now 1 to 10 numbers you are getting. Right? Now trace the program. Now just check the blinking. That will be this blue color lines. That means light green shaded line will be in the for loop only for 10 times when I am pressing the F7 in my keyboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now control coming out of the loop. Now it is going to print the values. Right? Understood? Now I am going to explain you the next now we'll see the next loop, that is while loop. So same process for the while, do while and while also. There initialization, condition, incrementation or decrementation will be done at the same position but in while at different places. Now here what we have, while. What we have here? While. Now while condition here. Okay now this condition we are writing over here. Check out. What we are writing here? We are writing a condition. That means before only first we'll initialize the value, then the condition is there, then the body of the loop is there, then value is updated. Same. There also initialization, condition, body of the loop, updation. First initialization is done, then that will be tested over here. If this condition is true, this body of the part is executed, then it increments the value. So this incremented value will be passed to the condition again. If this condition is true, again this body part is executed, again the value is updated. Again this will be passed back to the condition, again tested. If the condition is false, then that comes out of the while loop. Observe the steps here very carefully. First 1 will be done. Next 2, condition tested. If this condition is true, that means if true, then it will execute the body part, that is 4. Next updation is done, value will be updated, then this will be passed back to again condition as 6. Right? Now here again test the condition. If true, again this 3 and 4 is repeated and 5 is repeated, 6 is repeated. If this condition is false, then control comes out of the while loop. This is same as the for loop only, no difference between for loop and while loop. Next we'll see do while also. Then we'll see the while program and do while program at the same time. Now here check out do while. What is the difference between while and do while? Here first do, execute body part, then update, then test the condition. If this condition is true, control will goes back to do block. Otherwise control comes out of this. Now that means in while first the condition is tested, then if the condition is true, body of the while is executed. Whereas in do while, without checking any condition, only once the body of the statement is executed, then updated, then tested. If now the condition true, the process is repeated as like while. If the condition is false, control comes out of the do while. While executes if the condition true only. Do while executes even though condition is wrong. Do while statements are executed only once. Only once the statements here executes. Only here the statements will be executed, then updation is done, then the condition is tested. If false, here only it stops the program. But whereas in while, condition is true, then only control enters into the block. This is a major difference between while and do while. Now we'll see the programs of while and do while. While program we have, look at here 1 to 10 numbers. Now as before we discussed up to here, now I will be 0, initialization is done, 1 is less than or equals to 10, as welcome to control statement is printed, new line the output will come in, the next output will become in the new line, next I plus plus. If the value of I becomes what now here? 1. Again this 1 will be passed back to the condition. Again 1 less than or equals to 2, as again that prints. Now I becomes 2, 2 less than or equals to 10, prints, I becomes 3, 3 less than or equals to 10, print. So this process is repeated for 10 times. When I becomes 11, 11 less than or equals to 10, control comes out of the while loop. Now we'll compile a program and we'll execute the program. If you start from 0, the statements will be printed for 11 times. Why? Because we are including equals to 0. So if you write 1, these statements will be printed for 10 times only. Compile, run. So 10 times it will be printed. Now trace the program. F7. Now I will be 1. 1 less than or equals to 10. Condition is true. I will come to control statements. Printf. Next value of I will be what? 2. Now 2 less than or equals to 10. Condition true. Print. I will be 3. 3 less than or equals to 10, print 4. 4 less than or equals to 10, print, I will be 5. 5 less than or equals to 10, print 6. 6 less than or equals to 10, print, now I will be 7. 7 less than or equals to 10, print, now I will be 8. 8 less than or equals to 10, print 9. 9 less than or equals to 10, print, now I will be 10, 10 less than or equals to 10, print. Now I will be what? 11. Now press F7 button so that control checks 11 is less than or equals to 10. No, condition wrong. Control comes out of the while loop. Now it is going to print the statements over here. Clear? Next we'll see the program of do while. Same program. See, same program. I will be 0, do. The statements are printed over here, I plus plus, while I is less than or equals to 10. Now compile. See. That means in while and do while, in while the condition is tested at first, in do while condition is tested at last. Trace the program. Now 0, now print, now I will be 1. 1 less than or equals to 10, print 2 less than or equals to 10, print 3 less than or equals to 10, 4 less than or equals to 10, 5 less than or equals to 10, 6 less than or equals to 10, 8 less than or equals to 10, 9 less than or equals to 10. Control comes out of the loop. That means I pressed the epsilon very fastly. So when I becomes 11, 11 less than or equals to come, control comes out of the loop. Now check out here. The statements are executed for 11 times. Why? Because we are starting I with 0. Consider here, just I am making a modification that I is 100. Now what happens normally? 100 is less than or equals to 10. Condition is wrong. Even though the condition is wrong, do while executes the block of statements at least once. Why? Because we are not testing the condition at first of do. Now compile. Now run. Now only once the statements are executed. Right? Now come back to while. I'll change the value of there. Now if I print 100 is less than or equals to 10? No. Compile, run. Nothing to be displayed here. Why? Because there the condition is wrong, so we are not going to print any of the statements. This is the difference between while, do while. Thank you for watching my videos. If you like my video, share to your friends and subscribe to my channel. If you want any more programs on these concepts, please comment me in the comment section.